Hello, can you hear me?
Good morning, Adam. Yeah, I can hear you.
My camera on.
Fantastic. Oh, what an honor to be on the call with you. Thank you for joining me.
You're kind.
Yeah. So,
Thank you for joining.
yeah, absolutely. Can you tell me a little? Did you watch my short little video?
Yes, sir, I have.
Fantastic. That'll save us a little bit of time. We can concentrate on you. So, tell us a little bit about your journey and what I can do to help you.
Yeah, definitely. So a little bit about myself. My name is Adam. I'm located in the Midwest, specifically Northern Indiana. And my journey, it's still, I'm still in the starting journey.
Hmm.
Oh, by the way, how's my connection? Because it
It's
sometimes
good.
it shows like it's a bit slow.
Yeah, no, it's very good, Adam. Yeah, it's great, good, nice
Okay.
and clear. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. I'm still in the starting journey. I've been since like the beginning of this year. All I've been doing was like just watching a little bit of Pace's video, stuff like that. And I did get my first deal. This was July 8th, so just last
Congratulations.
month.
Why real
First
estate?
wholesale deal.
What are
So
you doing for a your W-2, your job, and what's your situation? Why real estate? Why did you get
yeah.
into
So before I was still working full time. I was in the railroad. I was working with Norfolk Southern. And with that type of job, Graham, it's like the schedule was horrible. Like we would be on an on-time schedule,
it?
so you wouldn't know when you would get called in, that type of stuff. So
I
I
see.
did that for about a year. I did that straight out of high school. I'm 19 currently.
Oh, wow.
Um, so yeah, that kind of got in my way. So like I was really interested in, I've been interested in real estate, but like I had that job and that was kind of in the way. So
Hmm.
all I did was I was just watching videos. I wasn't really taking action. It was just absorbing as much knowledge, trying to understand, the ropes of the game, that type of stuff. And then, I had enough with that type of job. I
Gotcha.
knew it wasn't for me. So I left that and then kind of went for this full time.
Hmm.
Um, I don't really have like much of overhead expense, that type of stuff. So it was an issue for me just to drop that job and then try to focus
I
on
see. So,
this.
so are you still with you living with your parents, are you?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
living with
right,
my
okay.
parents.
That's a good thing to take advantage of until you until you
I've been
get
told a
a
lot.
your own place. Yeah, yeah, that's good. So what you said you joined Pay, so is it sub two or Gator or both? Or what did you join?
No, no, not his community yet. But I do plan on joining the sub to community, but just really like
Just
just
watching.
absorbing all his YouTube videos. Yes, sir. Yeah, that type of
I
stuff.
see. Yes. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're on the right track. He's certainly one of the most influential leaders out there, influencers, and his material is really good and sound. I've been following him for some time. So,
Mhm.
in fact, I've been on three of his teams,
Nice.
so on acquisitions and things. So, yeah, I've been a Gator. I'm in the Gator, Elite Gator, over 2 years now. So
Mm.
that's why I be. But I'm specializing mainly with large multi-families right now. I've been in this game a long time, so over
I
22 years, in fact,
nice. Nice.
So yeah, I had started with small multi-families
Mm.
the first time round and made a whole bunch load of mistakes. So
Mm.
I wrote a little book about that. That's on Amazon, but I'm currently writing another book, Demystifying Commercial Real Estate Investing,
Mhm.
and also one on large multi-families. So I'm creating like a YouTube channel with educational content, all free, of
Okay.
course, and trying to create a community where we can grow together. The good news is you don't need money
Perfect.
and you don't need knowledge. Okay. You just need to be a participant, as it were. So it's a good opportunity to grow substantial wealth. And as you're so young, I wish I started when I was 19. It'd be a different place today if I started at your age. So you're a wise young man, got the eye on the right prize already. Not only real estate, but having come across pace. So you got a tremendous advantage. And living in this day and age where technology can support you every which way is incredible.
Mhm,
But I would encourage you to also have a job because you're going to have to. This is a business, and businesses need to be fed
mhm,
with capital. You need to capitalize your business to
mhm,
get it going. You know, um,
mhm,
money in real estate is usually slow. Fastest you can get money usually is 30 days, with closing and things like that, So even a gated deal, right? Find somebody with a deal,
mhm,
okay, it's going to take a while to close it. It can happen quicker, but not usually,
mhm.
all right? Usually these are longer, so that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, right? So
Mhm.
it's a
Yeah,
patience game,
definitely.
so what sort of activity are you doing on a daily basis to help you reach your goals?
So really, it's been as in like I'm sorry, like as in like what I'm doing as in like real estate wise or
Just real
just in
estate,
general.
yeah. Yeah, what you doing in real estate every day?
Yeah, yeah. So it's been the market where I want to stick to. One thing I had, or I feel like I still have an issue with, is really sticking to is really sticking to the market, like a specific market, and doing deep research. That's one thing I struggle with because before it was like I would, you know, I would be in the Indianapolis market. I would be in the Fort Wayne market. I just hop around, like I would just try here, try here. But lately I've been just focused on Ohio, so Cleveland and Toledo, these two markets.
Mm.
One thing I struggle with is like when people say do your market research, that type of thing. That's where I'm like, okay, like, well, what exact market research? Is it just running comps? Is it like, how can you research deeper, if that makes sense?
It's a
Like
good,
as in
it's
knowing
a
the
good,
right areas.
yeah,
Um,
it's a good,
yeah.
good question. It's a very good question. So what I would do, first thing you want to know is who are the
Mhm,
players. So
mhm,
imagine you're brand new to a sport. They're all wearing the same color shirt, right? But you don't know the names, you don't know the history, you
mhm,
don't know the positions. Maybe they're just lined up in a photograph and
mhm.
you think, oh, what's this? Maybe let's talk about soccer, right? I mean, okay, so most Americans are not familiar with soccer, right? I mean, they may know it exists, but they don't know the rules of the game.
Right.
They couldn't name a particular, they might be able to name a team, but they couldn't name the players on the team. And they don't know the difference between, say, American football and English soccer, right? So yeah,
Mhm,
so they don't know much about it. So that's kind of where you're at right now. So you want to get to know the team players. So I would choose your immediate local market where you live. All right.
mhm.
Don't worry about anything else just yet because you got to get good at where you're locally because you can meet people face to face.
Right. Mhm,
That's why I say local,
mhm,
and it's your training ground, as it were.
mhm,
So what you're going to do is your first goal is to find out who the best players are, right? Because you
mhm,
want to support the best team, right? You want to find the best team and who are the best players and what do they do? What got them there to be a good player? So you
mhm,
research the history. So in our game, you're looking for maybe the best realtors in town, all right? And study them like you would like if you're a fan of a particular sports athlete, right? Find out about
yeah.
their history, what they did, maybe even take them out to lunch. Then if you do that, if you're brave
Mhm,
enough to do that, they'll tell you the story, and you get to know, it leaves little clues. Success leaves clues. So if you do that on a regular
mhm,
basis and find out who the players are, and then have a look, then start asking them for the hot sheets because you're in a good position because you're 19 and you can say, yeah, it won't be long before I need to leave home. And I would like to know what the market's like. I'm learning early to find out what the market is, and then they'll give you what's called a hot sheets, what's available in the market, and you'll start to learn the prices of different homes and the neighborhoods and what's a good area to live in, what's a bad area to live in. So you're learning the geography, as it were, or the lay of the
Mhm.
land in that particular area. So find the players, find what the game looks like, and then read up on the economics. What parts of the economic cycle are we in? Well, so follow financial news. So right now, for example, it looks like we're going to be facing interest rate cuts, and you can
Mhm.
ask these guys, well, how will that affect the economy? Will that stifle demand or will that boost demand? And ask them why they ask that. Be inquisitive, ask all the questions and things like that. Then I would join every single real estate meetup in your town. So if you go like to meetup.com, put in real estate and see where the local meetups are. And then when you go to the meetups, you're going to shake everybody's hands. You're going to take photographs, make notes, take a notebook along, and just be a sponge.
Mhm.
So that's what we mean by market research. There's a lot more
Okay.
to it, but there's enough there for you to keep you going for a while, huh?
Mhm. I see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that help at all?
It does. It does. I so the nearest big city to us is is Fort Wayne. It's about 30-minute drive from where I live. And because I read something about whenever you're trying to get into real estate and this type of thing, you want to go into market that has everybody has different numbers, but from what I hear is 100,000 or more
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
And that's a city that's as close to us. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
I could
No,
definitely.
Adam Dia, don't worry too much about that right now because you
Okay.
want to do it where you live. You don't want to be wasting an hour traveling, okay? Because 30 minutes there and
Okay.
30 minutes. What you want to do, it's all practice, you see.
Okay.
Get to know the ropes. Once you
Mm-hmm.
get to know the ropes, or once you get to know the team players, um, be an expert where you are,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, you can be the competition probably where you are because you're 30 minutes away from a big
Right.
city. So as a beginner, that might be a really good thing because
Mhm.
there's less competition in your area, right?
Right.
So if you become an expert in that area and then an opportunity pops up, you want to be in a business relationship with somebody. You want to find somebody you can pair up with locally and do it together, So
Mm-hmm.
see what the local uh, closest real estate meeting to you is. Try and get the
Mm-hmm.
closest you can to where you're living.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you leave home, what I would recommend you do is find accommodation in the middle of that city. Because then you're going to have a realtor's expert in that area and then you're going to develop it up, or you can move. But when you move, you have
Let
your
me.
first city, move in
Hey,
this
Grant,
city. Yeah. Go
I don't
ahead.
know if you could see me, but sorry to cut you up, but so I just got a Wi-Fi extender. Um, let me just disconnect out of it because it would lag in and lag out. I
Okay.
didn't. I haven't tried it before. I'll just go ahead and disconnect out of it really quick. Sorry about that. All right, we should be solid. Is this good connection?
It is. Yeah. It's very good.
Okay,
So did you
perfect.
miss any of what I just said or
Yeah. So
quick questions?
the last part where I got you at was where you said focus on your market. There's no competition, and then you started talking again, and you said something about when you move out, and that's where it started cutting out.
Okay. Let me reiterate. Yeah. So don't worry right now about your long-term market. Okay. So right now, go back to sports analogy. They practice the game, right? So it's about practicing right now. Okay, and you
Mhm.
might make money while you're practicing.
Right.
That's perfectly possible. So right now, where you live, it sounds like you live in a fairly smallish area,
Yeah.
and to me, that's an advantage for somebody new because that cuts down the competition. Now, normally we like a lot of competition because you want a lot of activity. But when
Mhm.
you're starting out practicing, you don't want to ruin your reputation right out of the game, or it's a place where you can practice. When you make mistakes, it's not going to matter so much because it's in a small market, and the long-term goal
Yeah.
is to be in a big market, right? So it's in your local market, look for somebody you can be in business with because this is a team sport, okay?
Mhm.
Uh, most sports, I mean, well, every sport, I don't know any sport that you play by yourself, right? I mean, it's not a sport if you do it by yourself. There's always at least an opponent, right? In tennis, you have, your opponent, right, to
Mhm.
play with. So you've always got somebody
Mhm.
to play with. So in real estate, it's a team sport. So practice what I've said locally. And then when you feel confident, maybe you've done a few deals, maybe you feel like you can leave home now, you got some income, then you move into a city and you can choose any city across USA. I don't know where you would like to move to, but move into the city. Now I say that because you need to be in the center of the activity. Then you'll have the expert realtors there, and you can build up your team there and things like that, and meet them face to face. Then when you're an expert at that, then you can go more virtual. Then we've got the tools to go virtual, but virtual is last. Okay, you want to
Okay.
be local, practice
Mhm.
where you're at, and when you move to a city, and then do the virtual after that. Does that help?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One question for you. I know you deal mostly with multifamily and stuff like that, but do you deal with like any type of fix and flips, or is that not your niche?
I have done fix and flips. I have a team ready to fix and flip whenever I find a deal. So yeah, I have done all that. I've done it all in the past. So, but yeah, as you say, I'm concentrating on large multifamily because that's how to create real wealth. Fix and flips very risky,
Mhm.
so it's not something you want to start with.
Mhm.
You also need a team. You need a competitive team who'll do it economically as well. They'll work together materials, they don't overcharge and get the job done
Right.
quickly. And it's not easy. So don't start with fix and flip, right?
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
wholesaling, I wouldn't, well, some people recommend, oh, start with that because it's no money, but that's not true. Wholesaling is very expensive. $5,000 or $6,000 a contract. And so, because you really need to market with wholesaling, by the time you've spent all your advertising dollars, it's $5,000 or $6,000 a contract if you're good. It's way more if you're bad. And usually you're bad when you're new because you don't know what you're doing. The other thing with
Yeah.
wholesaling is you're up against the pros. Every major city has significant wholesalers who dominate the market. So it's very, very tough. I wouldn't recommend starting there.
Mhm.
What I do recommend with real estate, if you imagine a circle, a pie chart,
Mhm.
90% of that pie chart is networking. So you've got to get to know people and get into form of deep business relationship with them, bring value. So
Mhm.
continue what you're doing in studying pace because he's one of the best out there. You're on the right track there. So consume
Mhm.
as much of his videos as possible.
Mhm.
So I would spend at least 50% of your time on educational videos, and 50% talking to realtors. Talk to realtors. Get to know who you gel with out there. Who's the most helpful? Who's successful? Yeah, yeah. Um, that's probably the fastest way, because not direct to seller just yet. That'll be down the. It's easier because it's free to talk to an agent, right?
Mhm.
The ones that pick up, it's free. They're not going to charge you. The only time that you get charged is when you close the transaction. It's perfect.
Mhm.
Direct to seller, it's going to cost you money, which you haven't got right now. Okay, so.
Yeah, still with me?
So, let me give you my YouTube channel if you want to subscribe and like to that, Adam, and then
Yeah, definitely.
be part of our community. We can grow together, and you can book a call with me anytime. Um,
Mhm.
do that. And I'll also give you my um book on Amazon. I think you get that. If you get this and we can book a call, go over all the mistakes I made, may save you a lot of money in the long run. That's a little book. It's only 26 pages, but if you get it, we can discuss it and
Okay,
over the mistakes I made, and I can share a lot of
okay,
my experiences, which will help you decide. I think it'll help you decide what path you need to be on, because it's very bewildering real estate. It's a huge subject. And even if you live to be
mhm,
1,000 years old, and you devote yourself exclusively to real estate, you'll never know it all. Never. It's a vast subject. So don't try and figure it all out because you never will.
gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, what's your, I know you have that book. What is it called
It's called
again?
Cautionary Tales from Real Estate Investing. If you click on the link there, oh, did it not come up? Let me try
Okay.
that. No,
And
I gave you the wrong thing, didn't I? Let me put
you
it for
should
you.
I find it on,
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat again. Hang on.
let's see. Okay.
My cut and paste didn't work properly.
I did get your the YouTube link. Okay, I see the Amazon one as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
one last thing, Graham, if you would. Um, so I completely understand what you were talking about, as in like starting in your local market, try to talk to professionals, realtors, anyone that you can come in contact with in the real estate space. When it comes to realtors, what would be your specific question? Not specific questions, but
How do you
what's your
start? Yes, I would
yeah.
say, hi, my name is Adam. I'm 19 years old. I want to start learning about the local market because I don't think it's going to be too long before I want to leave home.
Mhm.
And that's all you need to, and that's your story, right? So you can remember that.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you can say, I'd like, can we go for a coffee? If the conversation goes well, if you invite them out to coffee, you pay for their coffee and then they'll spill the beans, as it were, 'cause they'll be friendly with you and give you lots of advice, and you never know what will come from that first contact. Maybe it goes
Gotcha.
horrible, but you repeat it again until you find a realtor who's really friendly. He'll take you under his wing. Be vulnerable, and he might be like a fatherly figure to you, and show you the ropes, and you're going to
Gotcha.
learn way faster. All right. And have a friend, and maybe a lifelong friend. My
Mhm.
first real estate deal was with a guy called Zafar Robach. That was over 22 years ago. We're,
Mhm.
we're business partners today because of that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Hmm.
I
Good
I
question.
appreciate I appreciate appreciate your time and all you brought.
Yeah.
I definitely look, yeah, definitely look forward to speaking again. I'll
Yes.
definitely get that book of yours, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what we'll talk about next
Yeah.
time.
It would be good, yes, because I'd love to share that, and so you don't blow yourself up. Because real estate is a risky game. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, you know. I don't know whether they come across Rocky Balboa's quote there, all sunshine and roses, and life can hit you hard. It's not about how hard you hit, but how hard you get hit and get back up again, right? Yeah, so I had a rough time. That's why I wrote that book, you know.
Mhm.
And anyway, I look forward to speaking to you again soon, Adam. Thank you for joining me.
Definitely.
Have a good day.
Likewise, likewise.
All right, very good. Bye bye
Cheers.
for now.